Okay, so I've got my capstones here on the right, and don't worry if you've modelled them again on the left and not done the mirror, which I'm going to show you now, because it's good practice just to model them all. But I'm going to show you that you can use mirror here. Draw axis is what I've chosen, and then I'm going to snap to the midpoint on my top and bring that down and flip them over the other side. But what I really wanted to show you is the management of the family, because notice there it says finish model, and that means I'm still working on the extrusions that I created. Once I choose finish model, that finishes the family, and that's the way things are organised. So all of these things together form one family. If I go to architecture and choose model in place again, even if I choose the same category walls, just leave that name, and then if I go to make another extrusion, I'll just make one off to the side. I'll make a couple. Oops. Okay, so that's a separate family. So I'll finish model there. So notice if I select either of those, they're one thing, but if I select my blocks, they're grouped as a separate element.
Did you name those two mirrors?
I just left the default name. Yeah. So it's important to realise that, because if you keep going to finish the family every time you want to make a new extrusion, then they won't be grouped together, and that makes life difficult if you're making a single piece of furniture and those things should be grouped together. So say if you're making kitchen cabinets, that's a really common one. Every board will be a separate extrusion, but you don't want to have to go and select it, go and edit in place, change the extrusion, finish the extrusion, finish the family, then go and select another one, do the same thing for each one. You just want to be able to select them all within the same family. And that's just for the modelling, but in a moment we're going to get onto the materials.
Like 4 apartments the same. Could slot the kitchen in the same.
Pretty much, yeah.
One was represented, select that component and change.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, that's right, exactly. And then for materials, it's really important, because if you've got to go and assign materials to every board in every separate family, I mean, think about a kitchen. If you've done any kitchen design, you know how many boards go into a piece of joinery, and to have to go and select each one separately and then assign the material one at a time, you've got 50 boards, and it takes forever. When if it's the same family, well, I'll show you right now. If I select this and then go to edit in place, I can select all of those things and assign the material together, and that's what we're going to do next. So that's the first step. Make sure if you have finished the model that you select one of those blocks and then go to edit in place, so that you can add the final capstone. And so here I want to draw, like I was saying, on the front of that building. So back on the Create tab, I'm going to go to Set, pick a plane, click OK, and then pick the front surface, and notice how it will highlight the whole thing. And so as long as you can see that edge highlighted, if you click there, you can then, if you want to, try drawing it in a 3D view, but I'm going to go to the east elevation, because that's looking from the side that wall's on.
So you want to highlight that whole stuff?
Yeah. And so there, if you click Show, now sometimes, sorry, that's my mistake. If you change views before making the extrusion, so it's a bit of a thing with Revit, let's go back into a 3D view. Because I clicked Set in that view, don't want to make it too confusing, just want to click Extrusion while I'm still in that view, and now if I click Show, you can see that it's on the front there, and I can switch to East, and it will keep that plane. If you don't do it that way, if you change to the East view first and then click on Extrusion, it won't pick up the plane. You just have to click Set again to choose it again.
Why are we selecting the whole time?
Well, that's just the work plane. So it's like the drawing board angle. No, the front surface still. Yeah, because you want to draw the triangle, and you'll probably delete that box, but you'll be able to trace over it to draw. Yep, that's it. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Yep. So just select one of your blocks, and then choose Edit in Place. Yep, there we go. And now you can choose Set over towards the top right. Yep, yep. And then pick a plane, and then yep. There, that's it. Yeah. So now I'm going to turn Show off because I know that it's right, and then click on the Line button. And so looking at the image here, let's say the projection's the same, height's the same, the only thing's the angle that we don't know, which I'll show you how to work that out. So from the corner here, I can click and then come across to the left to give the angle, and I'm not going to click there, just moving the cursor so that the line is straight and to the left, and then I'm going to type in 30 and then enter so that we've obviously come across 30 mil. And then I want to come up 300. And now, like I was saying, we don't know that angle. Oh, yes, we do. So you've got it on your drawings, don't you? The pitch. We could work it out from these pieces anyway, but I know you've got it on the section, which I just don't have handy, but if anyone's got that. Oh, yeah, 36.5. The line button? Yeah, so then, and you clicked on the corner to draw? Oh, I'll have a look at it and see. Yeah. Okay, so notice how when you snap to angles with Revit, it's going to go in 1 degree increments. Now you can set it to go in smaller increments, but that makes things awkward. So here, what you can do is draw at an angle close. Oh yeah, yeah. So just draw at an angle close, so 36. And then I'm going to just press Escape to stop drawing. Escape twice. Select that line again. And then change the angle. So it comes up as 126 again because it's adding the 90 degrees. So I'm going to add just 0.5 to that. So I'll make it 126.5, which will rotate it around. I don't think anyone would even notice the 0.5, so I'm probably being fussy there, but just in case you're wondering. So that's not even essential, but just in case you're worried. 126.5, but it depends on the way it's measuring it, so you're just adding 0.5 to it no matter what it is.
Did you want to keep it line and then...
So you can't, no, press Escape because that's not, yours is different. So yeah, it depends on the way it's measuring the angle. You just need to add 0.5 to whatever it says. Oh, well then change it to 36.5. Yeah. Oh yeah, look, so as long as it's close, but if you select the line, if you've done it at 36 degrees initially, then just change it to 0.5 more than what it says. Yeah, exactly, yeah. If it's 126 here, then make it 126.5. Oh yeah. Yeah, so that means your plane, you didn't choose the plane properly. So you need to go to Set and choose the plane for the wall again. Yep.
So you draw that line at 36 degrees and then you click on it.
Yep. And then change the angle. Yep. And so once you've drawn those lines, you should be able to select them all. Oh, just undo. If you press enter, it will repeat the last command. Yeah. And so once they're selected, then you can click on to mirror draw axis. Snap to the midpoint of the top edge of that that step parapet. Bring it up 90 degrees.
Bring it up 90.
Yep. And it should then give you the line opposite. I'll come and have a look. It's a bit fiddly this, but yeah. But then use trim to corner.
What do you do, trim?
Yep. So with trim to corner, choose the two lines at the top.
Oh, it didn't go, my right hand side one didn't go out far enough.
Oh, so that's just your mirror axis. So you might need to move those. Yeah, you'll need to move those across. So I'll have to show you that in effect. So just to finish this off, now we need the inner lines. You've got to choose the part you want to keep. Offset from the. Oh yes, it will be. Yeah, it will be. Yeah. So here I'll just finish it off and I'll show you the rest. So okay, so now I'm going to use offset again, and so this time I want to offset 300. I'm just going to type that in. Turn on copy as well, and I can choose the lines I've made to get the inner edge that you can see there. Then I'm going to offset this one up, and this will show you some really good tricks, but maybe to make it clearer, I'll stretch that across first because it's not very clear. So I'm going to use offset again, but with a bigger distance because I need to make the inner edge there. So I'll make it 600. Right, so from these outer straight lines coming across. And now with trim to corner, I can extend that little line across to join it. And then finally with offset again, this time 300 again, I can choose those horizontal lines, bring them up, and then finally trim again to finish it off. And so you can see then visually that these should be a bit longer, this segment here. And so there, just to keep going with offset, I'll use it again. I'll turn copy off. I think 300 is about right. And so I'll try that. Not too bad, but I'm going to undo that and instead try 200. And visually, oops, going the other way. That seems much better. Yeah, so that's pretty close. And so, close enough anyway. So I'm going to use tick to finish that and show you in 3D what's happened. It's made it, but it's going the wrong way. Yeah, because we made it on the surface of the wall and it's come forward of that. So by going into the site view, you can see it from above to get a handle on what's happening. And hopefully there you can just select it. And then when you're stretching it, you could either just sit down and do the maths and work out how far back to bring it, or by eye stretch it to line up with the blocks you've already made, which would also work just fine. So then checking in the 3D view, that's brought it back. So that's okay, but then notice there's a part missing on the inside there. Not a problem, because if I finish that, then I can select the wall again that we did earlier. Exactly, use edit profile. Maybe in the east elevation it'll be easier. And it's really just using the same drawing method. You can use pick lines, which is a tool if you're not trying it already, in the draw panel at the end. And pick the edges that I've made for my extrusion. So it's going to give me that arrow shape, and split the line at the top, trim the corner, join that all together. Finish in 3D. There we go. Now, having done all of that, not too bad. Maybe it needs to come down a bit and could stick out a bit better. So it could definitely be improved. And I might just quickly show you some of that because, again, it's just going to reinforce the whole idea of managing your family. So if I select this, edit in place, and then going into my east elevation, step at extrusion, and I think there I want to make sure if I go to wireframe that the roof there is still below this capstone, so I'm just going to use the arrow key and bring that down. It's really just a visual thing, so something like that. Yeah, doesn't matter if they're not even. Finish model, and now when I select the wall and then go to edit profile, if I select those lines with a window, I click on the move button and line them up exactly. Oh, no, that was silly of me, I didn't do the, so just undo that, I missed these lines, so I just select with the window again and get all of those lines. Come down. Oh, so this is the main wall, and I'm just bringing that part that projects up inside there to come down and match the change I made to the top piece. No. Now you can lock them together. Well, I just moved the capstone. I didn't move the wall. Yeah. So you could one really good tool you have in Revit is the option to lock those things together. But I'm deliberately not doing that so that you just get used to modifying directly. And so back in the 3D view, that looks better. So save the file and give some time to work on that. I hope I've got time to do materials after that.